The banks of the Ganges, India's holiest river. Thousands gather to take part in a centuries-old ritual, to wash away their sins. But just beyond the sacred river is a sin that cannot be washed away. At the heart of India's most famous export, children forced into slavery to weave carpets. And not just here, but in Pakistan and Nepal. Children weaving hundreds of millions of dollars of carpets, almost half of which end up in the United States.
We are forced to work in this terrible place. 6-year-old boys are kept here for 5 years, and no one goes home even to visit. The smallest kids who don't know how to weave, they are the ones who are beaten the most.
I'm still not very good at weaving, so my fingers are cut. I weave too slow. I'm constantly beaten.
Throughout the Indian subcontinent, 1 million children huddle over looms in cramped, stifling sweatshops, destroying their lungs, their eyes, and disfiguring their bodies.
I'm 13 and I have been doing this work for 3 years. I don't like this life. I want to do anything except this.
These are kids. They're 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. They can't defend themselves. They're helpless. And we're just turning them over to people that exploit them. And we just can't permit it to go on.
But New York carpet importers deny the children are being exploited.
It gives kids something to do. It's not hard labor. They like what they do.
It's a family business. It is not all that bad what they say over here. You know. Here they exaggerate everything.
The industries...
It's not an exaggeration, according to Senator Tom Harkin. He's sponsoring a bill that would ban imports of goods made by children. And he's backed by a leading crusader for children in India, Kailash Satyarthi.
There's an ad here for a carpet. Here, Star of India. How much would these kids make? How much would these kids make working on a rug like that?
Well, in most of the cases, the children are not given any amount of money, no wages at all.
How do children become slaves? A big part of the answer is here, in India's poorest villages, often hundreds of miles from the looms. The rains have failed here for years. Desperate to feed their families, farmers like Tkach were fair game for child traffickers who deceived them, gave them a few dollars and promised to take their sons to good jobs. That was 2 years ago. Although they've tried, they can't get their children back.
It's like a jail where they keep them. They work, eat, and sleep in the same room.
I thought slavery was abolished.
Yes, but not for us.
They could be anywhere, hidden in the most remote corners of India's carpet belt. But Kailash Satyarthi will go to any lengths to find them. 15 years ago, he gave up the comfort of an engineering career. Now he's on the road over 200 days a year, leading India's fight against child slavery.
When I see these children, I think that these are my own children. And it could happen with my own children.
Today, he's come to Handia, a town not far from where he believes the children of Tilak's village are being held. His first step, getting approval from local officials. Without his cajoling, they wouldn't lift a finger or provide a police escort.
Is this the route that you're going to be taking? Yeah.
Now with the parents, Kailash directs a final strategy session. how to raid the factory and rescue the children. Surprise is critical, but fraught with danger.
It's always risky. We could be attacked anytime. One of my friends, he was killed.
Nobody from the raid knows what awaits them. Dozens of other efforts have failed because corrupt officials tipped off the factory owners. Rushing into the factory, Kailash finds the children from Tkach's village, too traumatized to understand what is happening.
Until I saw my son today, I felt my blood had dried up inside me.
I thought I would never see my father again.
How old are these children?
These are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 14 years, something like that. So many of them are just 6 or 7.
What is it like here for them?
They are given some rice, small quantity of rice, and these boys have to boil the rice and they eat together, sitting over here, working over here.
Freed from the looms where some have labored half their lives, all show scars of their ordeal.
So you will find all the finger cuts in the hands of these small children. Yeah, look at this.
Sliced fingers, lungs damaged by woolen particles.
So thin and having a lot of lungs problem, and they are losing their lungs and they don't know, unfortunately.
Suddenly, another locked door is discovered. Another group of dazed children emerges, including a 10-year-old called Israel. For 2 years, Israel slaved 12 hours a day, without a day of rest or a day back home.
The loom owner convinced my mother that I would have a good wage and good food, and I could go home once a month, but he never paid me any money, and he never allowed me to go home. When my brother came to rescue me, I was beaten.
But this rescue mission is not over. Kailash learns from Israel and the others that more children are being held, just down the road.
They obviously knew that we were on our way.
Yeah.
Someone has tipped off the factory owner, but not soon enough. Upstairs in a locked room are the children the loom owners were trying to hide.
More children. They were kept inside.
Fear is etched on their faces. Their master said the police would kill them. All Kailash can do is reassure, over and over again. You are free, he tells them. We will take you home.
You can look at their faces. This is the real slavery. One can easily read the real medieval age slavery, which is still existing in their face, in their hearts, in their eyes.
A medieval world that Kailash keeps exposing. As each locked door is opened, it's a small victory of liberty over slavery. And just when every last door seemed open, something even more extraordinary. Chased into the trees by their masters, boys by the dozens are perched like birds with clipped wings. They do not understand, cannot imagine that they are now free. Finally, the last of the 126 children freed this day.
Many boys, he's saying.
Many boys out there?
Many boys out there, they were chased away there.
Israel, did you ever try to run away?
I didn't try to run away because I thought I'd be lost.
Did you know that most children, like you, are going to school? They're not working like you have had to.
I wanted to go to school too, but once they brought me here, I couldn't do anything.
There is a school in this village, but classes weren't open to Israel and the others. The school principal was one of the men arrested for enslaving the children. You've made slaves of other people's children, he says. You should be ashamed of yourself.
He's in charge of the children.
Yeah, he's in charge of the children here.
And who does the principal work for?
Huh?
Ideal industry.
Ideal Industries, he says. A carpet factory just down the road.
No, the claim made by them is absolutely wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
But the owner could not refute the hard evidence found during the raid, an Ideal order book. And who does Ideal sell to? Some of the largest importers in New York City, including Bukhara.
We as an importer would not buy any carpets that were made by slave children. And we don't know of anybody, and there's nobody really to prove that there is slave children weaving carpets.
Then you should take a look at this.
Mm-hmm.
The warning from the owners was, run, hide children. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. We are shocked, but I'm saying this doesn't represent the rest of the other exporters.
You do business with Ideal.
Yes, I do business with Ideal.
But Eric Khalili doesn't think Ideal is any different from several hundred other carpet exporters.
All of them, they use child labor, with a very, very, very few exceptions. Unfortunately, in countries like India, you can buy people.
Buying anything from exporters using child labor will be illegal in the U.S. if Senator Harkin's bill is passed.
I don't care if you're born in America, if you're born in Bangladesh or India or anywhere else. The value of a child to be free from exploitation and child abuse and slavery is a right that's inherent in every child.
We are free. We are not afraid of the master. Today's raid is the single biggest success in a 15-year crusade that's freed 24,000 children.
Are they anxious to go home?
Once they leave this temporary camp and return home, many of the children will be taught a new skill in a school set up by Kailash. But first, having spent much of their childhood in slavery, they have to learn how to be children again, how to laugh, how to play. Just 2 days ago, Israel was a frightened, bewildered little boy, but not anymore.
I've dreamt of being home so many times, and my family would always ask, how did you make it back? But the next morning, when I'd wake up by the looms, I would be so sad. But just yesterday, I saw my home again in my dreams.
Today, that dream came true. Israel was with his family again and looking forward to going to school. Tkach was full of joy too, riding to his village with Kailash, bringing back a treasure many parents thought was gone forever, their children. For the first time in 2 years, the whole village had a reason to celebrate.
I'm so happy. It seems the world has turned green.
In this parched region, where a son given up for lost finally came home, it seemed like a small miracle, like a long-awaited rain.